Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening whenever you're watching this teaser video. And this is the teaser video for this coming Sunday, which would be um, August 23rd. Man, we're over halfway through August already. It seems like time's flying by. But this week, my sermon's actually titled Faith. And I'm sure a lot of you are like, Faith? Yeah, isn't that what we kind of talk about every Sunday? But we're actually going to be looking at the very beginning of the faith chapter. We're going to be looking at Hebrews chapter 11, verses 1 through 3. Again, that's Hebrews 11, 1 through 3. Now, Hebrews 11 is known as the faith chapter, and it refers to a lot of Old Testament people and the things that they did by faith and how they followed the Lord. But I'm kind of looking at some other challenging words. I think these first three verses in Hebrews, again, 11 verses 1 through 3, say a lot. And there's some key words in there that, as you discuss faith, as you think about your faith, usually Hebrews 11 verse 1, a lot of people kind of have memorized, or they can kind of, if they can't say it verbatim, they can kind of say the gist of, faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see. And sometimes when we memorize things or say things, you get in the habit of doing it and you kind of miss the significance. So as we look at this, these verses and kind of the idea of faith, there's two key words just in that first verse that I want you to really think about. The two words are sure and certain. Again, the two key words are sure and certain. As you think about your daily life, how many things are you truly sure about or certain? None of us can say for sure we'll wake up tomorrow. No one says for certain that something's going to actually happen. We may have a very good idea. Hey, the 5 o'clock train usually always stops by at 5 o'clock to make their stop. It's almost always on time. It's certain to be there. And then there's one day there's an accident and the train doesn't get there at 5 o'clock. So it wasn't certain. It wasn't sure. Think about the different things in our lives that we say for certain or for sure, and think what those words mean. It's kind of neat that they are synonyms and they are used in that first verse, and they are talking about faith, and they're talking about things we can't see. And I think about our eyes. As I'm getting older, I now wear glasses, so my eyes aren't as good as they used to be. But I think of magicians. I do watch like Penn and Teller fool us, and I like watching magicians because I know what they're doing is a trick. They're not making things truly disappear, but they kind of deceive our eyes. So sometimes even what we see, we can't really be sure or certain about. They actually say eyewitness testimony is some of the weakest testimony in trials because our eyes can play tricks on us. I have that same problem when it comes to trying to figure out what's navy blue and what's black. I still think that's a conspiracy against men, that we can't see the difference between those colors. So somebody invented that navy blue color to confuse us, to try and figure out what color socks we're supposed to wear with those pants. But that's just a side rant. But focusing on the word sure and the word certain. In today's world, there really isn't too many things that are sure. Everybody says death and taxes. I can pretty much guarantee that we're all probably going to die. So I would say that's as close to a certain as possible. We know through biblical times, not everyone died. A couple key people got called up without dying. But we say that's kind of certain. That's kind of, sure. Again, taxes, that's kind of the little joke that, we're going to get taxed. But, in Pennsylvania, you buy anything, pretty much anything has a state tax to it. There's obviously some states that don't do state taxes or, those type of things. But the key word sure and certain, especially when it talks about faith. Now, I'm going to be digging a little deeper into that, especially when we talk about sure and certain on something you cannot see. We like to point out, you can't see the wind, but you can see the effects of the wind. But when we're talking about faith, we're talking about God, we're talking about Jesus, we're talking about the Holy Spirit, all things that we can't see. So, how sure and certain are you? That really, truly determines our faith. It's interesting, it's challenging. 3 little verses, 2 little words right there in that first verse. And we're going to really be discussing that because when you are sure or certain about something, if there's something you're really good at and you're able to, if it's something like if you're really good at fixing car engines and you're a great mechanic, you're pretty sure and certain that you can tell people how to do certain things. You can talk them through it because you are certain and sure on that's how it's done. What if we have that same ability and same confidence to talk about our faith and have our spiritual discussions as we would putting a craft together, repairing a car engine, painting a wall, whatever task that you may be good at that you're able to talk people through? What if we were able to do the same thing in casual conversations about our faith? So as we get ready for Sunday, read those 3 verses, Hebrews 11, verses 1 through 3, and determine, are you sure and certain? That should be very challenging for each and every one of us. Until I see you on Sunday, take care, be safe.